Every single day, the world is waiting for you. The question is, how do you show up? Most of us wake up and immediately step into chaos: emails, messages, worries, and to-do lists. But what if before the world claims your attention, you claim your own mind? What if you began each day not with distraction, but with intention? That's where the power of 5 simple lines comes in. 5 lines you speak to yourself every morning before anyone else has the chance to tell you who you are or what you should be. Words have power, and the words you give yourself are the most important of all. When you wake up in the morning, the first thoughts that flow through your mind set the tone for the entire day. Too often those thoughts are filled with stress, worries, or the endless tasks waiting for you. But there is a different way to start the day, a way that changes how you see not only your circumstances but also yourself. It begins with a simple act of gratitude. Saying to yourself, "I am grateful," is not about ignoring your struggles or pretending that everything is perfect. It is about training your mind to see the gifts that already exist in your life, no matter how small they may seem. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It is a practice, a habit that reframes your perspective and opens your eyes to possibilities that stress and negativity often hide. Think about this: when you begin your morning by focusing on what you lack, your energy is already drained before you've even stepped into the world. But when you wake up and choose to recognize something you are thankful for, your mindset shifts from scarcity to abundance. You suddenly realize that while challenges exist, so do blessings. Gratitude does not erase difficulties, but it strengthens your ability to face them. For example, being thankful for your health, your family, or even something as simple as a roof over your head reminds you that there are solid foundations in your life to build upon. Science has proven this as well. Studies show that people who practice daily gratitude are happier, healthier, and more resilient in the face of setbacks. They are less likely to feel overwhelmed and more likely to take proactive steps toward their goals. Gratitude doesn't just improve your mood, it rewires your brain. When you say, "I am grateful," first thing in the morning, you are literally training your brain to scan for the positive instead of being stuck in cycles of negativity. That single act creates a ripple effect on your focus, your emotions, and your relationships throughout the day. Imagine starting your day with gratitude for something as ordinary as the sunlight peeking through your window, the comfort of your bed, or the opportunity of a new morning. These might feel small, but they carry weight because they remind you that life itself is a gift. If you wake up with breath in your lungs, you already have a reason to be thankful. From that foundation, everything else becomes easier to face. Gratitude is like a lens that sharpens your vision, allowing you to see solutions where before you only saw problems. Consider a person who wakes up with dread, thinking only of the work, the deadlines, and the struggles waiting ahead. Their energy is drained by the weight of what is wrong. Now compare that with someone who wakes up and immediately says, "I am grateful for this new day. I am grateful for the people in my life. I am grateful for the chance to try again." The second person hasn't eliminated their challenges, but they've stepped into the same day with a stronger spirit. That difference is powerful. Gratitude fuels resilience, and resilience fuels success. It also transforms the way you treat others. When you carry gratitude in your heart, you are less likely to complain, compare, or criticize. Instead, you begin to notice the good in people and situations. This makes you not only a more positive person to be around, but also a leader who inspires others. Gratitude is contagious. When you show it, people around you begin to mirror it, creating an environment of encouragement instead of negativity. The beauty of gratitude is that it costs nothing. You don't need money, fame, or perfect circumstances to be grateful. You only need awareness. By choosing to focus on what you already have instead of what you lack, you begin to live from a place of abundance. This doesn't mean you stop striving for growth or improvement. It means you pursue your goals not out of emptiness, but out of fullness, knowing that even as you reach for more, you already have enough to be thankful for today. Every morning gives you a choice. You can step into your day with worry, fear, and dissatisfaction, or you can step into it with gratitude, strength, and clarity. When you wake up and declare, "I am grateful," you reclaim control over your mindset. You remind yourself that you are not defined by circumstances, but by perspective. That simple line is not just a ritual, it is a declaration that you will see the good, acknowledge it, and carry it forward. It is the foundation on which the rest of your day and your life can be built. When you wake up in the morning and tell yourself, "I am capable," you are not just speaking words, you are reminding yourself of truth. Every single person carries within them a history of battles fought and challenges endured, many of which they once thought were impossible to overcome. And yet here you are standing today, evidence that you are far stronger and far more resourceful than your doubts have led you to believe. To be capable does not mean you never struggle or never fall. It means that no matter how many times life has pushed you down, you've always managed to get back up. That persistence alone is proof of your capability. Think about the moments in your life when you faced something that felt overwhelming, a tough exam, a job interview, a painful loss, a difficult conversation. At the time, you may have been filled with fear, questioning whether you could handle it, but you did. Maybe you didn't come out perfect. Maybe you didn't win in every sense, but you endured, you grew, and you learned. That is what capability truly means. It's not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. When you affirm, I am capable, you remind yourself that fear does not define you, and failure does not end you. Capability is not about being the best in the world. It's about being the best version of yourself at each moment. It's easy to compare yourself to others and convince yourself you are not enough, but comparison blinds you to your own progress. A flower does not look at the tree beside it and think, I'm not tall enough. It simply grows in its own way at its own pace. Your capability is unique to you. It is the accumulation of your experiences, your strengths, and even your scars. In fact, those scars are the most powerful evidence that you can handle more than you once thought. The truth is, life will always test you. There will always be another challenge waiting. But every test you face is not proof of your weakness. It's an opportunity to demonstrate your capability once again. When you tell yourself each morning that you are capable, you are setting the stage for courage. You are saying to your own doubts, I hear you, but I choose to act anyway. That single decision creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. Confidence, after all, is not a gift from the outside world. It's built internally, brick by brick, through the repeated choice to try again. Think of a child learning to walk. They stumble, they fall, they cry, but they keep trying. No one tells them they are incapable. They are encouraged to get back up. Eventually, after enough attempts, they walk. Now imagine if the child gave up after the first fall. They would never know what they were truly capable of. The same principle applies to you. Each fall is not a sign of incapability. It is a necessary step in proving your capability. There's a reason why some people achieve what others call impossible. It is not that they never doubt themselves, but that they remind themselves of their capability more often than they dwell on their limitations. They know that capability is strengthened the more it is exercised, just like a muscle. The more you push yourself into challenges, the more evidence you create that you can handle them. And every piece of evidence becomes fuel for the next time you face something hard. When you declare, I am capable each morning, you are arming yourself against the voices of fear, insecurity, and negativity that will inevitably come throughout the day. You are telling your mind and your heart that whatever comes, whether it is uncertainty, failure, or rejection, you will not crumble. You might bend, you might pause, but you will not break. And when you live with that belief, you begin to approach obstacles differently. Instead of asking, can I do this? You begin to ask, how can I do this? That shift is where breakthroughs are born. Every person who has built something meaningful started with belief in their capability. Without that belief, they would have quit before the work even began. Belief is the soil and capability is the seed. Water it daily with the reminder, I am capable, and over time, it grows into unshakable confidence. And the beautiful part is, you don't need anyone else to confirm it. You only need to remind yourself. Because the truth is, you already carry everything within you to handle today, tomorrow, and the days after. The challenge is not to find capability, it is to remember it. When you begin your morning with the reminder, I am becoming, you acknowledge one of the most powerful truths about life: you are not a finished product. Too often, people trap themselves by believing they must have it all figured out, that who they are today defines who they will always be. But life is not about arriving at some final perfect version of yourself. It is about evolving. Every day, every experience, every challenge, and every choice shapes you into someone new. Saying, I am becoming, is an act of liberation because it releases the pressure of perfection and replaces it with the joy of growth. Think about the nature of growth itself. A seed does not transform into a tree overnight. It pushes slowly through the soil, reaching toward the light, weathering storms and standing taller with each passing season. That seed was always meant to become something greater. But the process takes time. You are no different. Who you were yesterday was necessary to prepare you for who you are today, and who you are today is laying the foundation for who you will be tomorrow. This process is not instant, and it is not meant to be. Becoming requires patience, faith, and the willingness to embrace the journey instead of obsessing over the destination. When you say to yourself, I am becoming, you remind your mind that setbacks do not define you. They are not the end of your story, but chapters within it. Every failure, every mistake, every disappointment is part of your becoming. Without them, you would never learn resilience, creativity, or strength. In fact, some of your greatest growth often comes from the moments that hurt the most. It is through loss that you learn appreciation, through mistakes that you learn wisdom, and through rejection that you discover your own worth. Becoming is not about avoiding hardship, it is about allowing those hardships to shape you into someone wiser and stronger. Too often, people compare themselves to others and feel inadequate because they are not where someone else appears to be. But the truth is, everyone is on their own path of becoming. The person you envy today once stood where you are, uncertain and searching. Instead of comparison, focus on your own progress. Ask yourself, am I growing? Am I becoming someone stronger, kinder, wiser than I was yesterday? If the answer is yes, then you are already on the right path. Your growth may look different from others, but that is because your becoming is uniquely yours. I Am Becoming also reminds you to dream beyond your current reality. Where you are today does not limit where you can go tomorrow. You are not confined by your past, and you are not stuck in your present. Each morning gives you a chance to rewrite your story, to take a step toward the person you aspire to be. This doesn't mean you need to transform everything at once. Small, consistent actions accumulate into massive change. A single workout, a single book, a single act of courage may not change everything instantly, but together they build the foundation for who you are becoming. Another truth hidden in these words is that becoming is endless. There is no finish line where you finally arrive and say, now I am complete. Even at the highest levels of success, growth continues. The most fulfilled people in the world are not the ones who believe they have arrived, but the ones who know they are always learning, always evolving, always becoming. That mindset keeps life exciting and meaningful. It means that every day, no matter your age or stage, is an opportunity for transformation. Consider how powerful it feels to let go of the weight of perfection and instead embrace progress. You don't need to be flawless. You don't need to have everything figured out. You only need to be becoming. That shift in mindset changes how you approach challenges. Instead of saying, I failed, you say, I am becoming through this experience. Instead of saying, I don't know enough, you say, I am becoming someone who learns more each day. That perspective fuels persistence, and persistence builds character. So when you stand in front of the mirror each morning and say, I am becoming, you are not just speaking to the person you see. You are speaking to the future self who is waiting for you, the version of you that is wiser, stronger, and more capable than you can even imagine right now. You are reminding yourself that you are in motion, that you are evolving, and that who you are today is only the beginning of what you can become. When you wake up and declare to yourself, I am worthy, you are making one of the most important affirmations you can carry into the day. Worth is something many people search for in achievements, relationships, or the approval of others. But the truth is, you don't have to earn it. You don't have to prove it. Your worth is not measured by how much money you make, how many followers you have, how perfect your body looks, or how many people applaud you. Your worth exists simply because you exist. You are enough, just as you are, and when you remind yourself of that truth each morning, you begin to live from a place of confidence rather than insecurity. So many people carry the heavy burden of believing they are not enough. They tell themselves they are not smart enough, not strong enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough. This mindset becomes a prison that limits their potential, because when you believe you are unworthy, you stop yourself from even trying. But worthiness is not a prize at the end of some race. It is not something handed to you once you meet a certain standard. Worthiness is the foundation you stand on. It is already inside you, waiting to be recognized and lived out. When you start your day with the reminder, I am worthy, you shift the way you view opportunities and challenges. Instead of shrinking back and thinking, I don't deserve this, you step forward and say, I belong here, and I have something valuable to contribute. That shift in perspective changes everything. Suddenly, you no longer see rejection as proof that you are not enough. You see it as a redirection, not a reflection of your worth. You stop defining yourself by the opinions of others because you already know your value. Think about how many dreams never begin because someone convinces themselves they are unworthy of pursuing them. They believe that others are more talented, more deserving, more capable, and so they hold back. But worth is not about comparison. You don't need to be the best in the world. You need to be the best version of yourself. You were created with unique strengths, perspectives, and gifts that no one else can replicate. Declaring your worth every morning is a way of saying, what I have to offer matters. Who I am is enough. This truth also transforms the way you treat yourself. When you believe you are worthy, you begin to act like it. You no longer settle for toxic relationships because you know you deserve respect. You no longer accept mediocrity from yourself because you know your potential is greater. You no longer ignore your health or well-being because you recognize that your life carries value. Worthiness shapes your standards, and your standards shape your choices. Those choices, over time, create your future. It is important to remember that worth is not tied to perfection. You will make mistakes, you will fail, you will fall short, but none of those moments strip away your worth. Too often people confuse failure with a lack of value, but the two are not the same. Failure is an event. Worthiness is an identity. The most successful people in the world are not those who never failed, but those who knew their worth enough to keep going despite failure. They understood that mistakes are temporary, but worth is permanent. Another powerful aspect of embracing your worth is that it changes the way you show up for others. When you feel unworthy, you often look to others for validation, approval, or identity. But when you stand firm in your worth, you show up in relationships from a place of abundance rather than need. You can give more freely, love more deeply, and lead more authentically because you are not seeking constant reassurance. You already know you are enough, and that certainty creates a presence that inspires others to believe in their own worth as well. Every morning when you affirm, "I am worthy," you are pushing back against a world that constantly tries to convince you otherwise. Society will tell you that you need more success, more possessions, more beauty, more recognition to matter. But worth does not come from external measures. It comes from within. It cannot be taken away, and it cannot be diminished. The more you practice recognizing it, the stronger it becomes in your life. To speak it, believe it, and carry it with you. When you know your worth, you stop asking for permission to live fully. You stop waiting for the perfect moment to begin. You stop letting fear dictate your choices. Instead, you rise with the confidence that you deserve to take up space, to pursue your dreams, to live boldly. You deserve love, respect, success, and joy, not because you earned them, but because you are already worthy. When you wake up and speak the words, "I will make today count," you are choosing to see time for what it truly is, your most valuable and non-renewable resource. Every day you are given 24 hours, and once those hours are gone, you cannot get them back. Money can be earned again. Opportunities can reappear, but time moves forward without pause. Declaring that today will count is a way of honoring the gift of time and promising yourself that you will not waste it on things that do not matter. It is not about trying to fill every second with work or being productive in the sense of constant activity, but about living intentionally, making choices that align with who you want to be and what you want to create. Too often people drift through their days as if there will always be more time. They put off dreams until tomorrow, delay important conversations, or waste hours scrolling through distractions that add nothing to their growth. The danger is not that you have too little time, but that you believe you always have more of it. Saying, "I will make today count," is a way of breaking that illusion and reminding yourself that today is not practice for life. It is life. The small decisions you make in a single day accumulate, and together they create the future you either want or regret. When you decide to make the day count, you approach everything differently. You do not treat your work as something meaningless. You see it as an opportunity to learn or to contribute. You do not take relationships for granted. You invest in them with presence and care. You do not allow challenges to defeat you. You see them as part of the story you are building. Making today count means you do not let life slip through your fingers unnoticed. It means you step into the day with awareness and responsibility, choosing to add value to yourself and to the world around you. This mindset also helps you focus. Life is filled with distractions pulling at your attention, but when you remind yourself that today must count, you naturally ask what really matters right now. That question clarifies your priorities. Maybe it means working on a project that moves you closer to your goals instead of procrastinating. Maybe it means spending real quality time with loved ones instead of being present only in body. Maybe it means taking care of your health rather than postponing it until problems arise. Making today count is about aligning your actions with your values so that at the end of the day, you can look back and feel a sense of fulfillment instead of regret. Another important truth is that making today count does not always mean achieving something grand or visible. Some days it might look like resting because your body and mind need recovery. Other days it may look like having a tough but necessary conversation, or practicing patience, or simply showing kindness to a stranger. Small actions, repeated consistently, make a massive impact over time. People often overestimate what they can do in a single day, but underestimate what they can accomplish when they commit to making every day matter. Think about the difference between someone who lets days pass without purpose and someone who decides to make each day meaningful. Over the course of weeks, months, and years, the gap between the two becomes enormous. One person wakes up years later wondering where the time went, while the other looks back at a life filled with moments of growth, impact, and presence. The choice is made daily, and that choice is yours every morning. When you affirm, "I will make today count," you also cultivate gratitude. You recognize that today is not guaranteed. There are countless people who did not get the chance to wake up this morning, yet here you are, given another day, another opportunity to live. That realization is powerful. It moves you to live with urgency, not in the sense of rushing, but in the sense of appreciating and maximizing what has been placed in your hands. Carrying this mindset changes how you end your day as well. Instead of lying down with the weight of wasted hours, you rest knowing you made the day meaningful, even if only in small ways. That knowledge fuels your confidence and builds momentum for tomorrow. Each day counts. And when you string enough meaningful days together, you create a life that truly matters. So when you speak that line each morning, you are not just making a statement, you are setting an intention. You are reminding yourself that today is not to be squandered, overlooked, or forgotten. It is a unique chance, a single page in the story of your life, and you have the power to decide how it will be written.